Hello everyone and welcome to the gameplay trailer for Othercide by Lightbolt Crew. My name is Ben and I'm the creative producer on the project at Focus Home Interactive. Othercide is a horror-infused tactical RPG taking place in a devastated city in an unknown reality. Humanity is on the brink of destruction due to an incursion of the nightmare creatures, dread servants of the suffering other shaped by the immense pain of one child. You stand with an army of daughters, clones of the greatest warrior to ever live, as the final bulwark to the annihilation of everything. Today, we're talking gameplay. Each mission of Othercide has one of several objectives. In this case, we simply need to wipe out every horrific monster arrayed against us. We've come into battle with 3 daughters and 1 of each class available, though missions vary in capacity from 2 to 5. Every action and movement in Othercide uses the dynamic timeline system, with a supply of action points controlling how much you can do at one time. By using only half or less of our action points, we get to act again sooner with this daughter. The forces of suffering are on the move, but we will get to strike first. Any action that takes place immediately is called an instant action. That's because delayed actions, reactions, and interruptions are a huge and important part of the game, as we'll see shortly. We're employing a burst action with Belle, our long-range soul slinger, to kill one enemy and injure another. This helps keep our daughters safe, puts some damage out on a priority target, and leaves her in relative safety for the following turns, thanks to the chasm between her and 2 of the enemies. We also enable Intercepting Round. It costs precious HP to activate, a resource that cannot be easily replenished in Othercide, but means that the first enemy targeting one of her other daughters will be interrupted, their attack stopped, and serious damage dealt. Just like you, enemies have their own special moves. In this case, the delayed action Massive Shot will deal extreme damage to a daughter if it is allowed to trigger. This can be avoided by killing or incapacitating the attacker, getting your daughter out of range, or a number of other options. Felicity, however, is going to deal with more nearby opponents. Lunge is her basic attack, available to all shield bearers. In this case, we've upgraded it to do more damage, giving her a hybrid tank damage dealer role and making a significant threat to smaller nightmare creatures. It costs a decent amount of AP, so she's already into the burst window, and we move her closer to her next targets, which may have been an error. Serene is a Blade Master, the glass cannon of Othercide. They do unbelievable damage up close, but are easy to hit and have little armor. We're going to use one of their mid-level skills, Sidestep, to get in close to the pistol wielder currently targeting Belle and take him out.
Striking.
We're then going to use our own delayed action, Imbue Blade, to try to hit this crawling mass of flesh. However, its turn is coming up before we hit, so it will move out of the way, a tactical error. Thankfully, we're protected from its attack by Belle's interruption round, making Serene safe and leaving the enemy very low on HP, even as Serene whiffs her strike. Felicity's forward movement was clearly too far, and she is attacked. Thankfully, she's the hardiest of our daughters, with a large HP pool and plenty of armor, but we could have placed her more carefully. As mentioned, healing does not come easy in Othercide, so this mistake could cost us down the road. For Felicity's revenge, we're going to use Shield Bash, another mid-level skill that knocks one enemy back. With nowhere to go, both take damage from the impact. Sensible positioning and use of skills like this makes for easy kills and is vital to the strategy of Othercide.
Striking.
Every kill and action has a chance to unlock a memory, one of the shards of the mother's mind that explains her story and the history of the war against suffering. They can also be slotted into skills to improve their damage or bestow new effects.
Memories once locked away from us.
As we await a new wave of enemies, we position our daughters for the fight ahead.
How foolish.
Due to their speed, these enemies, scavengers, act twice before we can. This is another reason that using all your AP may be a blunder and has left Belle in harm's way. Thankfully, they are also fairly weak.
What new horrors must we face?
We'll finish them off with an AoE skill, Wrathful Ruin, that also moves Belle to a new position.
How foolish my fears. Her strength inspires me.
Here we can see where the next set of enemies is going to spawn, so we move to be within range. Lightning Strike allows Serene to move and attack in a single action, saving AP and giving her the opportunity to move across the battlefield again for a follow-up strike on this maggot. We'll use Imbued Blade's 2 range to our advantage and finish the fight.
Flawless.
The mission now over, we can equip our daughters with a selection of the memories we received.
May this memory be one of freedom.
Their effects are many and varied. Flat damage boosts, adding delaying properties to move enemies down the timeline, immobilize enemies, shred armor, improve buffs to add more properties, percentage-based boosts for already powerful skills, the list goes on. You can only slot 1 memory per skill, so choose wisely, and it costs Vitae, the precious resource that is also used for recruitment. Speaking of precious, if we wish to heal a daughter, we must sacrifice another of equal or higher level. This is the only way to regain health in Othercide, making every movement absolutely vital. All this strategy comes together in the boss fights, epic encounters with the dread sources of suffering. In this example against the first boss of the game, the Surgeon, we have daughters with extremely high damage output and well-managed combos of reactions and interruptions. That won't protect us from unsafe play. An earlier burst action with Deuce, our Soul Slinger, makes the upcoming AoE attack lethal. We can dance in and out with Charity, but she won't be able to save her sister. The Surgeon has a litany of other moves, and there were a whole batch of ways we could have protected ourselves here to prevent the lethal damage. You'll have to discover those when you play the game on July 28th. In the outcome of another battle, we see that our daughters have gained new skills and traits. Skill selection is unique per class, and you pick from 2 options every time one is unlocked. Leveling up also gives stats, increasing damage and health. Meanwhile, almost any action or outcome can potentially lead to a trait developing. In this case, our daughter was heavily injured and now has less max health, but she has also become more accurate. Another is now even more armored. Between traits and memories, as well as skill selection, a daughter will always be unique. The endgame is huge combos. Mixing skills between classes to do incredible damage to the most powerful offerings of suffering and their hordes. Experimentation and exploration will win the day.
A necessary blow. At last. But it brings me no pleasure.
When you fail, and you will, carry what you've learned through to your next recollection. Unlock new remembrances, powerful boons to upgrade your army from the off, and conquer suffering once and for all. Othercide comes to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC on July 28th, and Nintendo Switch later this summer.